Holy cow. That shit was kind of crazy. Oh, he's a Zeno? Wow, that's crazy. I promise you, Vegeta Assist is good, but it's not the house that he thinks it is. Alright, it was pretty good there. It was pretty good there. That was just random. That was so random. Alright. You want me to play Vegeta so bad? I'll play Vegeta, dude. For those of you that don't know, I have a Reddit account. I barely use it, but I wanted to use it specifically for this video. There is a series that I followed for a while on Sajam's channel, the Guilty Gear Plus R 6th grade meta, I guess, playlist. A link to that will be in the description down below. I am absolutely copying him on this one because he stopped doing the updates for this series, and I wanted to keep it going. I wanted to find out more. There's new posts, and he hasn't really done anything on it. And plus, I want to inform some of the people that don't follow Sajam. Like, there's people that watch my stuff that don't watch his stuff. So I thought this would be a lot of fun. A link to Sajam's playlist will be in the description if you want to watch all those, and a link to this Reddit account will be in the description if you just want to read ahead. But for the sake of the channel, I'm going to do these regardless. So starting things off, my 4th grade students, or excuse me, my 6th grade students made a Plus R tier list after our 4th full class tournament had a good chuckle. So if you take a look at any Guilty Gear Accent Core tier list, this is not what a tier list looks like. Having Faust at the top, like Faust is a fine character, Potemkin at the top, having Baiken at the bottom, it's a little bit oblong, it's a little bit obscure. The original post tied to this, so it says, for context, if we're far enough ahead of where I plan to be for that month, we get a free day that includes a fun little tournament of Plus R. I bring 2 sticks, 2 pads, and my computer and hook it up to the projector on the ceiling, and we play it on the screen. The winner of the tournament has to face me as the final boss. The kids all love it. The meta is janky because most of the kids don't know how to do motions. Charge moves seem to be easier for them to figure out. Potemkin isn't a grappler in this meta. He's actually a mid-range brawler who just uses 6H and Hammerfall to slap you until you die. One kid kind of knows how to do a Gatling and has a decent idea of how spacing works, and they play Mei, so the kids all assume that she's top tier. I mean Faust and actually had an okay idea how to play the game, so they think he's the most broken thing ever. Pokes are busted, so if your pokes are good enough, you're a strong character. One kid actually got his parents to buy in the game, and he's determined to learn how to play Zappa. Oddly enough, nobody played Johnny in this last one, so I think they put him in B for no reason beyond his cool design. This is amazing, bro. If I had a teacher like this, I don't remember particularly any teachers doing anything cool or extracurricular like this with the students. I'm sure there might have been some stuff, but nothing that was super memorable, nothing that gave the teacher personality. And this is just a cool way of seeing how beginners and new players look at the game, how they view the game, and how they see what's cheap. There's a bigger post below this. All right, so he goes in a little bit more detail on the overall like state of the class. So starting things off, the Potemkin thing is even weirder. He's not played as a grappler, he's played as a mid-range character or a brawler. They don't know how to do pot busters, so they rely on long normals to get in and hit for big damage per hit. For your questions, combos yes day one. Show them that Gatlings exist because it can be really discouraging without it. There's almost no transitions from the ground to air combos except on accident. I feel that sometimes I do ground to air on accident as well, depending on the game. Vince and I were playing Under Night, and I was accidentally getting a little ground to air conversions with Byakuya. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, you guys should join the Discord if you guys want to run some fighting games. So air dashing and specials. Some of them do air dashes, but motions are still new for them. We usually don't see them actually using motions until just before spring break. Okay, not too bad. And let me just say, it's totally okay to play a fighting game in a very basic version. Like, you can learn as you go. Just, I mean, a fighting game can still be a lot of fun. Like, just having someone at your level is great. Anyways, reversals, not really. When nobody knows how to keep pressure going, there's no reason to even bother. You just block and wait, then you can guess again. DPs, hell no. I reiterate, most of them struggle with quarter circles just because they never played fighters before this. Consistent specials. Charge moves seem to be easier. Mei is top tier here because one of my kids plays her and can actually do charges and a couple Gatlings. And then IKs, aka instant kills. No, I leave out until I see more consistent specials because they tend to overvalue them and try to get them too hard and blow the game. It can be really discouraging to die without even doing anything because you can't do your IK. And then meter use is basically an accident most of the time. Yeah, I wanted to state before we continue that you can get involved in a version of a fighting game and just like press some buttons and have a good time. It's just when you want to get better is when the landscape is going to change. You can play a super basic version of a fighting game, have a great time, even potentially get a win. If you have an okay idea of how to approach like neutral and footsies and stuff like that. Like, you don't have to be that crazy of a player to get a win and have a good time in a fighting game. Anyways, Chip is Chip is mid-tier because the first time he was played, he barely squeaked around out from under a Robo-Kai and got punted across the screen by Potemkin repeatedly. First impressions are everything because most of them don't play more than once a month, plus having a low health and meta of pokes is rough. Alright, and then Oki, aka Okuzeme. I run Oki because I'm a bully and don't hold back. If the kids want their trophy, they're going to earn it. Fair enough, absolutely. You should not play down to your kids, your crew, your class, whatever. It's fun being a villain. I feel that I'm a villain in regard to all my friends that play fighting games. And then aside from that, a couple have tried, but timing the wake up is hard when you have literally no information. Yeah, that's fair. You're just kind of eyeballing it. You might just have a bit of a rough time. It might be a bit easier for them because chances are they're using like big normals anyways. So timing a meteor is a little bit easier with a bigger normal, but also you're not going to get as much value off of like timing it with a bigger normal as opposed to something that actually leads into a string. Robo-Kai. Also, this is making me want to play Plus R a lot more. I love Plus R. I just haven't played as much of it as I wanted to. I've been thinking about playing it more. Moving on to Robo-Kai. Robo-Kai is one I don't have a good answer for. I think it might be that he's kind of goofy. They're memeing him. Okay. Plus, robots are cool. Robots are cool. There's usually a character that gets the weird fan club. One year it was Order Soul, and a kid actually got his mom to make an Order Soul costume for Halloween that year. That's fucking sick, dude. And dude, this is what I'm talking about. This is what you love to see in fighting games. Just like kids getting into them young, thinking it's super cool. And dude, going as Order Soul for Halloween, dude, if I was into fighting games like that as a kid, being Order Soul would have been the fucking sickest thing ever. Anyways, another year it was Johnny. Johnny's pretty cool. He just got added to Strive. It just depends on the personalities of the kids, totally, and how much you just vibe with your character. They're aware of Strive. The main reason we don't do that one instead is because I bring a laptop for the parties rather than my desktop. The laptop doesn't play Strive at a good enough frame rate, but Plus R is exactly isn't exactly eating up your GPU these days. Exer would be my go-to, but I kept having issues getting a second stick to work on a local, so I just stuck with Plus R. Plus R is a great game, and it also shows that like older games are totally valuable too. Plus R is just a ton of fun. I feel the same way about BlazBlue Central Fiction. It's super fascinating to watch a meta of not just new Guilty Gear players, but new fighting game players. They're aware that there's a ton here, but they don't know how to access it. They stumble along, and when one kid learns a new thing, they tend to share it with the class, which is great. That's awesome. That's like some Naruto learning shit. It's super cool. Right now, we're still in the trade pokes until one of us falls over phase of the meta. It always starts out like that, but it usually swerves once kids learn a new piece of tech and runs with it. That's fucking awesome, man. Alright, a later post. My principal was a little wary of it, but the state of the class was pretty bad, so we were looking for some unconventional solutions. I've had 1% that said they didn't want their kid to play it, but they didn't object to watching or allowing the other kids to play. I didn't understand it, but they're not my child, so I can't tell them what to do. Most of the time, once your kid's 11 or 12, as long as it's safe for work and the parents don't care much, edit. My superintendent walked past during one tournament. I did have to do some explaining that time, but they understood once I said class party reward, and they moved on. Alright, so a little bit of I was actually wondering about this, a little bit of backlash as far as like the school is concerned, because personally, like, I find it hard to believe that, you know, a school would let something like this slide, but it's actually super sick to see something like this, and you're just creating really cool class memories, so that's awesome that they're kind of allowing that in the first place. I know it goes further, but yeah, this is actually super duper sick. I like the fact that it's 6th grade. I feel like most 6th graders are open to, like, if you're a boy or a girl, playing a video game in your free time. Like, you're not kind of predisposed of the notions of like, oh my god, video games are for like boys or nerds or whatever. Like, you still have them young where it's like, oh yeah, a cool video game to do outside of classwork. Of course a little kid's gonna want to play a video game. That's fucking awesome. And it happens to be fighting games, and it happens to be Guilty Gear, and it happens to be a goated game like Plus R. That's fucking sick. Hats off to this teacher. You're creating really great memories for your kids. Even though they didn't value Chip all that much, they still put him mid-tier, which is actually pretty surprising. I would have thought he would have been down here. Zato being down here makes a lot of sense because he's a tough character. Venom as well. I don't know how Baiken plays in Plus R, so that's a bit curious. And then if one of the characters, like if one of the kids figured out Dizzy, I feel like they'd value her a lot more, just because they seem to value that like zoning idea and keeping out and having pokes and stuff like that. And she, out of what I recall, her projectile game is so good. Milia being down here is understandable because low health. Same with Eno. I don't know if any of the kids play Anji, so. But seeing Kai and Robo-Kai being up here, as well as Order Soul, I didn't really see anything on Order Soul, but I mean, and then Axel being up there. Yeah, the pot meta. Interesting. When I played Plus R, I actually didn't see that many Potemkins all that much. Maybe like 2 or something like that. Yeah, I actually want to run more Plus R. We might get something like that going in the Discord. But dude, yeah, just have some fun. Enjoy some fighting games, man. Like, you can enjoy fighting games at any level, and just this is just a telltale sign of it. And just seeing his class get like so involved with it, and just sharing something so cool like that with your class is fucking sick. Alright, well, that's gonna be it for me this time. I'm gonna keep going. Like I said, all the links to everything will be in the description if you want to read ahead or anything like that. But I'm gonna keep on going with this. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you later. Peace.